Yo, oh shit. Yo guys, what's up, man? It's your man Qamari, aka Reno Slow Motion, and I figure I make a confession video because a lot of y'all don't know who Qamari is and what Qamari been through, and so a lot of y'all watch my videos, so you know how it was in high school, but you don't know the history of Qamari. So, this is the truth of Qamari. Alright, so that's the title of this video. The truth of Qamari. Let me put this out so I can give y'all my undivided attention, because this is going to be a deep video. It's not a ramble. It's actually, maybe you can identify with me. Um, the truth of Qamari. Well, I'm adopted. I'm mixed with black, Puerto Rican, Cherokee Indian, also Dominican. I'm now at the age of 39. I was adopted when I was 7 years old. Um, my father was not in the picture. My mother was on drugs when she had me. Um, I have a twin out there that is also trans. We both were born intersex. Um, we both have born with a birth deformity of being half man and half female. Um, chest of female, male anatomy a little bit, and we both tried to adapt in a world that did not know or wasn't of or wasn't very positive positive of the situation or abnormality children. So to say I was kind of gifted a little bit, not on that kind of level, but just a lot of other ways. Um, like I said, my father wasn't in the picture. I don't know why he wasn't in the picture. I don't know. I was raised by my mom who was on drugs, and I had a little sister that is now my brother somewhere around the world. I don't know where my twin is. A lot of y'all probably will ask that question. So where's your twin at? I don't know where my twin is. I have not seen my twin since we were young, since we were kids. Um, I'm the oldest. He's the youngest. He's a little bit younger than me, probably maybe about an hour, maybe 2 hours behind me. We wasn't born at the same time, as most biological twins are. We wasn't. Our mom was on drugs. I went through a lot of abuse in my home with my mother. It takes a lot for me to go back in history, but I was abused in foster care. I was abused in a lot of homes that I was put in. They separated us. I didn't get to see him when he got into a new home. We lost touch because they put us in separate homes. A lot of people think that they put you in the same home. Some places do, but unfortunately, we wasn't. I ended up getting adopted when I turned 7 years old after being abused in a foster care home. I've been abused a lot of my life from families I was adopted. I'm not adopted, but foster care families. They just wanted to get the check and, treat the child how in any kind of way, because they just figure, hey, it's a check we're getting to watch this motherfucker that we just want to get the check off of. So yeah, I was one of them check fund babies, that they just watch for a little while until the system found a family. When they realized that I was getting abused in the home and I was getting mistreated, they put me in the system. And if you've never been in the system in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, then you understand my attitude on some of my videos. I had to learn to be aggressive because stuff was being taken from me. Anything that I loved, cared about, wanted, can see, have as my own, it was snatched. It was taken. It was grabbed without me even wanting. Hell, there was things that even had people coming at me in a disrespectful manner, trying to figure out or use me in a derogatory manner, if you understand what I'm saying. I wasn't like molested to a, like that, but I had motherfuckers that men want to grab and touch and feel, and fucking women want to do shit, and it was gross. It was kind of fucked up for the mentality. You understand why I have the mentality I do. Um, okay, so I wasn't spoiled. I was broke, poor. Um, when I got adopted, when you take a child from the hood, that's all they know. I learned how to hustle. I learned to take what I want. Didn't ask any questions. Didn't care if you didn't like it. My attitude was like, fuck it, it's mine. If I saw it and I wanted it, I'm gonna grab it and it's mine. That's the way I was. And I got in that mentality. I did get adopted into a family that I mistreated. I did wrong because I was a child of the streets. I knew how to curse before I was like 10 years old. I knew how to tell you to go fuck you, go fuck your mama, go fuck your daddy. I don't give a fuck about you or what you're going through. I learned how to say all that before I was 10 years old. So you imagine when you get adopted to a family and the child tells you to go fuck yourself. Okay, so you realize I grew up in the hood. Society made me the way I was. But I can compare to the way I was back then to the way I am now. I didn't have money in my pocket. I wasn't like wealthy. I didn't have mommy and daddy buy me Jordans. I didn't have mommy and daddy buy me clothes. I didn't have mommy and daddy caring about if I had food in my mouth before I got adopted. And I took that mentality into adopted home, and it kind of ruptured the home that I was in. I kind of brought chaos into their home. When I became 14 years old, um, the schools, I mean, I knew I was different. Voice was deepened, hands was different. I started looking at girls in a different manner, and I didn't understand that kind of ideal, girls date boys, boys date girls. It wasn't like the whole thing about women being with women and men being with men, and guess what, or being transgendered or being FTM or being intersex. None of that was exposed to me until I got to the age of, I'd say, 17 years old, when I started doing research of why I was the way I was. When you're trying to date girls and they keep telling you you act more like a man, and you carry yourself like a man, or you walk like a man, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I see gay women doing this. I started learning about gay when I got into high school. Um, I realized that I was intersex. I was different when I got into high school. I was more talked about and teased and bullied when I got into high school because I was different. I didn't act like none of the girls in the school. I didn't act like none of the guys in the school. I act more like the guys in the school, but a little bit more hardcore, a little bit more thuggish, a little bit more street hood, you know. So you taking the child. My damn PC is acting up. I hate this shit. Alright, I'm sorry about the glitches. But, so, like I said, it wasn't exposed about gay on gay, lesbians, and men and men. It wasn't nothing like that, you know. I wasn't, didn't know none of that shit. Didn't even know me being intersex until I started doing my research when I turned like 18, and after I graduated from the horror that I went through in high school, being teased for liking girls and being pushed into lockers and being called he, she, and thing and it, and girls that will bring me over to their parents was calling me it and thing and whatchamacallit. You know, the little bar, they was calling me that candy bar, whatchamacallit. That whatchamacallit is in my house, or that thing is in my house. I went through a lot of that. So when I figured out I was trans and intersex, when I figured out I was more of a man, I went to counseling and therapy and all that too. And after I did my research, I found the group and then I joined it and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Well, I got an ID made to say that, you know, I'm trans and that I'm male and all that. Right after that, I was supposed to move into my own apartment. This is after high school, guys. I didn't even tell you the shit I went through in high school. That'd probably be a whole another clip. I mean, that's by itself. But when I was in high, I actually, I fuck that. I'll go back to that. When I was in high school, my senior year, a lot of y'all was at home chilling with your families, and you had your family helping you with homework and all that. I didn't. I was going through torture. I was going through issues with my adopted family from the way I was growing up in the hood and my attitude and taking shit. And I'm not gonna say I was not. I was that mentality, that hood mentality. If I want it, I'm gonna take it. If it's mine, it's mine. You know. And that's the way I grew up. So in high school, I ran away from home my senior year, and I stayed in an abandoned car. But I graduated. But if it was not for my first love, I wouldn't have survived it. My first love was giving me food that her mom was buying, and she was sneaking it to me while I was sleeping in an abandoned car my senior year because I didn't want to be at home from getting abused from his wife, getting beat up every day from his wife. Um, you think when you leave a home being abused in foster home, you would go to adopted family, not be abused and tortured. But on top of going to high school, I was already abused and tortured, and then I'm going home and being abused and tortured from my adopted mom. So I ran away from home my senior year and slept in an abandoned car. I did all my studies. I got up. I went to school, caught the bus. My first love was giving me food that her mom was buying. So, you know, I had a roof over my head. Yeah, it wasn't an apartment or a house and all that, and clothes and shoes and all that. I had what I had, you know. What I had in the bag is what I had. I had shirts enough to get me through. She would wash my clothes for me. I would go to school. Nobody would know. I brushed my teeth and all that. Nobody knew that I was staying in an abandoned car. When I got off the bus, I would run down there and put my backpack into the car I was sleeping in, and my first love would sometimes, you know, she would grab me some food and she would spend the night with me because I was going through a lot. That was my senior year, guys. I graduated and studied hard out of a backseat of a limousine, abandoned limousine, old limousine car, and graduated. And I'm telling you this story. I didn't have what you have now, you know. I didn't have that back then. Being tortured in school, high school and all that, and still graduated with a nice, I graduated with honor roll, 4 years of honor roll, and I was sleeping in an abandoned car. See, I can tell you my story, and this is it. When I Me and her broke up. I did a lot of stupid shit. I stayed with her. She stayed with me. I learned about the lesbian lifestyle. Went out, partied like I was a rock star. Girls was checking me out, and I was in the club scene, and yeah, yeah, yeah. And forgetting the girl that actually was there for me. Alright, so I did a lot of fucked up shit to a lot of females. Um, but my struggles have made me better. I can compare to where I was to where I am now. I don't know how this feels. I can compare to where I was to where I am now. Um, I did a lot of shit with a lot of women, not a lot of women, but I did girls dirty. I did them dirty. Oh, I mean, I was very aggressive, overly aggressive. Who you talking to, checking phones, asking where she going, scaring the shit out of females like, bitch, you better not do this. I mean, I was very bad. I mean, very aggressive. But I toned that down, you know. I didn't want to be that way. Just because I was raised in a bad environment doesn't mean that I should be that way. When I became of age 21, I had my first drink with my first love and her friends, and they had a party for me, and we chilled and all that. This is how the devil fucks with you. God provided all my needs, all my wants, my desires, and my needs. But the devil was on his job. He found a way to fuck with me. I messed up that relationship. I messed up a lot of good people. I messed over good people that was looking out for me. And me now, 39 years of age, I can tell you that it's not worth it. It it wasn't worth it. You can't. It's just like you can take the hood out, you can take the person out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the person. Just the same thing. You can't make a hoe into a housewife, which is probably true. You probably can. That hood mentality is still in me, but you can learn to medi- mediate it or moderate it, change it. You can change yourself. And I look back on the things that I've done to people and how I was raised, and my upbringing was the reason. But my struggles made me better. I've moved to, I've been to Los Angeles, not Los Angeles, I've been to New Orleans, I stayed there. I stayed in Texas with a chick I was talking to, and we ended up bonding, and she had kids when I was in Texas. Because I did some fucked up shit to my dad's stepwife. Um, like I said, you can't take the hood out the person, but I did some messed up shit to her. And I've changed. And I look at it now of where I was to where I am now. I'm better. I'm at peace. I have a job. I work. I make my own money. I buy what I want. And I look at a lot of these kids who don't know what it is to struggle. Ain't never been in the shoes of struggling. And they used to getting. And my thing is this. If you always giving, and you always expecting someone to give to you, what are you going to do for yourself when then somebody can't give it to you? What are you going to do to benefit you without needing them to give to you? You got to learn to stand on your own 2 feet, and you got to learn to change who you are and the way you were to benefit you now. Because if you don't, you're gonna go through the same shit I went through. I've done shit. I've been through shit. I've been in jail. I've lied. I've hurt people. I've deceived people. I've heartbroken people. And it's so wrong that I look at it now in my life and I'm like, I did all this to people that was actually trying to be kind to me and actually trying to look out for me. And now, after going through all them struggles, I'm better. If you never struggled before, or you never had it good, and or you always, if you always have the good, you don't know the bad. And if you never know the bad, you don't know what it's like not to be in a good situation. Like all these kids out here, rich and parents buying them Jordans and clothes and parents buying you clothes and stuff. That's cool. I didn't have that. I've donated plasma just to keep a roof over my head. I've sold things that meant something to me just to keep food in my mouth and clothes on my back, or to keep gas in my car when I had one. I went through some things that I wouldn't want my child to go through, but I'm going to tell my child the struggles I went through so they learn that struggling ain't bad. To struggle is not bad. It makes you a better person than the person you are. If you always used to getting, you're never going to know what it is to struggle. And you're never going to learn to what it is to stand firm and on your own 2 feet. I learned to stand on my own 2 feet. I learned that without the man upstairs, I wouldn't be where I am now. Coming from a car my senior year and graduating with a diploma to get my father is everything. And now I'm 39 years old. Yeah, I don't have a car, but I got clothes I pay for. I got a job, I get a paycheck with my name on it. You know? And I've driven a car and I had a car in my name before. And I got things I can show from where I was back then. Because, yeah, I struggled a lot. But look at where I'm at now. You know? I went through all that heartache and pain. And I'm a survivor of all that heartache and pain. And I can tell my story to say it's not the end. You know? People might not know you. People might judge you. People might hurt you. People might not get you. But don't let that break you. You know? Keep going on. Keep moving strong. And if they don't know who you are and what you've been through, you tell them what you've been through. You express where you came from and where you are now. You compare yourself to the person you was back then and the person you are now. And you look at them changes for yourself. And you will see how much of a person you are now. I look back then where I was and everything that I went through. And it made me a better person now. Not saying that everybody has to go through a struggle. But sometimes you gotta fall to get back up and see where you are. You gotta fall to get back up and realize what you have. If you have never fallen before, you don't know how to handle it. If you've never been broke before and you've always been rich or you've always been so overly blessed, you don't know how to handle it when you gotta struggle. I've struggled and I am blessed now. I have a crib, I have clothes, I have a job, I have food in my mouth I pay for, I have clothes I can wear that I bought, I got shoes I bought, You know, I can pay to get my hair done any kind of fucking way I want to. I can cut my own hair, cut your hair, cut somebody else's hair. I taught myself how to do so many things because I've been through so much back then. And I'm a better person now. So you look at it when you go to these class reunions that they have and they ask you, you got friends that's had money and or whatever, and they tell you, well, you know, I work as an executive and all that. Ask them what they've been through. Ask them what trials that they face, and see what struggles have they gone through to get to where they are, and how blessed they become. Everybody falls, but you just gotta learn to get back up, and you gotta change. You gotta change that's gonna benefit you in the world. You gotta change to benefit yourself. That's all that is. Change to benefit who you are and the way you want to be presented. And when people see that, they'll understand. You might not even have to tell your story. They can just see it in you. And me, I've been through a lot, and I would tell my child what I've been through, the things that I've faced, the overcomes that I have passed, because it made me who I am now, and it made me a better person. I thought about deleting not my Facebook, my YouTube account, but I don't think I am going to, because this is me telling my story, and my child can go back and get on YouTube and look me up and see all the videos I've made. And a lot of people can see who I am and the things I went through and the things I talk about. And maybe it helps somebody else. And that is my purpose. Helping other people to feel that you're not alone. You don't need to feel inadequate. You don't need to feel like nobody cares or nobody has been through what you've been through. Because believe me, I probably have, and I'm a bigger person to tell you I have, than to get 1,000 hits on here doing something that's not going to actually reflect in you in a way that's going to benefit you. So, you've heard my story a little bit. I didn't want to go to depths with it because this video will be a little bit longer. But if you understand or overstand what I'm saying, you are in charge of your destiny. Nobody is. It's okay to fall down. It's okay to feel hurt. It's okay to be heartbroken. But don't let that be your reason you stay down. You have the right to get up, dust yourself off, and keep on moving. Don't let nobody tell you what you can and can't do and how you should and should act or how you can and can be. Can't and can be. You are in charge of your destiny. You are in charge of you. And nobody should take that from you. And if they do, the only person that should take it from you is you. Alright? This your man Qamari, aka Reno Slow Motion. I'm out. This.